Welcome, everyone. This is Nichel Anderson. I'm your host for my podcast show, Surviving Your Journey Toward Success. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is my episode wrapping up my summer break. I took a very good summer break. I needed that. So thank you so much for tuning in when I did release my monthly releases. It turned out pretty well compared to the last 2 years. During the summer, I did it 2 times a month. But again, as I mentioned earlier, if you've been following me, I needed some, more time to kind of do other things and also to relax to be prepared for my next year, which would be my third year doing this podcast show. And my premiere back for season 3 would be, of course, September the 9th, 2019. And that would be the season year 2019 to 2020. So please continue to support it once we start my season 3 as you did before. If you knew, I ask you to tune in as well when I do release and kick back up my another year of doing this podcast, which I really do enjoy. So let me go ahead and get started with this one here. And I do release these types of either short or what have you type episodes during the summer, even when I'm taking a break, just to kind of still, release some newer content, right? So, but let me get started with my podcast, what I like to do. And I like to say, in this day, I am thankful to the prime creator of all things, that I give thanks for the blessing and opportunity that I will use it for the greater good. So welcome, my survivors of the journey, to my podcast that aims to inspire and motivate you to continue to have joyfulness, peace of mind, and for your sustained success. All right, so I'm just going to run through. This particular episode is focusing on my future plans for season 3, 2019 to 2020. Basically, as I mentioned, just to kind of reiterate that, is that it would be bi-monthly. I will have the dates, at least the next podcast date, listed. That's my goal in each of my podcast releases. I will have on my official webpage, nichelanderson.com, the whole season year dates that are planned, which is basically going to be still Monday, still planned to be released 10 a.m. Eastern time. So those things stays the same, so you at least know if there's anything that's going to be released, it's going to be on a Monday, of course, and it's going to be by 10 a.m. And you can, of course, get that through your favorite podcast distributor, right? But yeah, so every other week, as I looked at the calendar, I think it's 1 or 2 months in this year span that it would be not like every 2 weeks. You will see like maybe it'll be 3 weeks before you get another one, just because it's a lot of weeks in 1 month. I think it's 5 weeks in 1 month. Maybe it's 2 months out of the year from 2019 to 2020. Of course, my season starts in September, which is next month, and then it ends in May of the following year. So I also want to talk about my aim for my going into season 3. I really want to do more interviews. I just, starting up this podcast 2 years ago, and then the second year kind of getting my groove and doing other things. It kind of took up a lot of time, but I was doing weekly podcasts. So now I want to kind of focus on doing interviews. It just takes time because you have to work with the guests and then my schedule as well to get it set up. Everybody's schedule on the same time, do the recording, a lot of research with the guests, their background and their expertise. So it just takes a while. So I want to do more. I only had a chance to do one last year. I did another one that I had plans to release it. I didn't get a chance to release that podcast. It's over here. He's a good friend of mine, so I know he's understand. Shout out to Reese. But I need to release that this year in my season 3. But I want to do more of that. So that's my goal, to do that. I do have an upcoming interview with a special guest. I'm not going to lay it now. I'm going to do that when I kick off next month, my season premiere. I mentioned that who's my guest speaker. I'm very excited that we connected and he's going to be my guest speaker. It would be, I'm not going to tell too much, but it would be a couple of weeks into my new season where you'll get to hear that interview. But I'm very excited that I got a chance to interview this person. So look forward to that. I also want to compile again my forgiveness series. I decided to do that last season in April. My goal is to continue to do that. And I'm going to have a special section also perhaps on my official website. I'm going to try to see if I can set that up here on my Podbean website as well, that could go to quickly. You can actually search on my Podbean website for those forgiveness series, but I want to have a separate section. So I'm going to set up a page on my official website that you can go to, because I think forgiveness is intertwined in our personal lives as well as our professional lives, and with handling forgiveness in a way that I feel that we should is a better way to get to the healing and the mental peace that we all seek. Okay, it's a podcast that I did last season, just to kind of let you know on that. It was how to effectively forgive within the prism of redemption, right? That has is almost my stats is almost higher than my episode 8 and episode 9. When that really set it off, when I started my first year of podcasting, I saw a lot of traction with episode 8 and episode 9 that led on to start talking specifically on forgiveness, which bring me to now. But yeah, that episode there increased. A lot of people is downloading that. So I'm very excited that people are getting their healing. I'm contributing to that to help them. So that's my takeaway on that just in the future you will see a separate like page dedication to kind of compile all that into one, and I'm going to have that linked from my Podbean site to my official NichelAnderson.com. And once I get that up and set up, I would definitely reiterate that for people to go and check that out. Now I also want to aim to market my podcast more to seeking advertisers. I did hooked up with a co-op opportunity, so I'm very excited. But I'm also offering to see if you are independent advertiser or know of anybody out there that would like to be one of the advertisers for my show. Please let me know. Reach out to me at info@NichelAnderson.com, and maybe we can network and negotiate something. So I am trying to put it out there to help support the show. All right, the other thing I want to talk about is my plans to have certain months focus on themes that relate to self-help. I know I did that quite a bit, I think in season 2, of course season 1, but I want to focus on more motivation. I'm going to do more of those, as well as a business model, but kind of intertwine that, which you probably can get some of my previous podcasts where I have, but I definitely want to just focus on certain months. Okay, this month is definitely going to be that gives you more of a heads up notice of what's coming. I do release my show notes on my Podbean, and I do release it on my website, but sometimes it's kind of help where you don't have to really, you get more in tune of the flow and the consistency. I love consistency. April is always feeling like a healing month for me. As they say, that's the angel month, and I want to pick another one where it can focus on not just motivational self-help, but business type themes like workplace toxicity, because that really challenges us to manage our mental peace. I haven't picked out the month, but just know that's coming, that I'm going to have certain theme months. Okay, the month theme, it would be on this type of topic, and I will release those episodes, which now is going to be 2 times a month. All right, the other thing is just to kind of reiterate that my podcast starting for season 3 will be released bi-monthly, meaning 2 times a month, still on Mondays and still by 10 a.m. Eastern time. And I want to keep it that way. I do have plans to sometimes release bonuses like my short stories that's my other podcast, Nichel Anderson Short Stories and Beyond, and I do have plans to do more of those short stories to share it on this show here. Writing is my hobby. I would say a hobby, my purpose that I like to do. Storytelling is ancient. It's been around for a while, and it's another way to share experiences, learn from them, and motivate and inspire other people. So I do plan to continue to do those short stories and share it on this podcast. Okay, let's see, what else did I want to talk about? I think that's basically it for now, but I do wanted to my app, let me focus on that. Flying up last beginning of my season 2, then I had to revamp it because things change, and it's still in the process, working on that. And when I do have that finally updated how I want it, I will send out that notice to everybody to please download it. I do still hope to kind of get that awareness of my Ask Me page on my website is tied to my app, which is going to be Surviving Your Journey to Success, of course, app, but as well as my official app to NichelAnderson.com. It'll have that Ask Me where you can ask questions and I can answer back if you want to be anonymous. So it is still on my website, but I want to kind of gear that going into season 3 more. And I think by me having just releasing 2 podcasts a month, that gives me that project that self to have time to do that. Okay, so do look for an announcement when my podcast is officially back available on Google and the Apple Store. And when that Ask Me section, that's a project that I really wanted to grow and to encourage people to use. and so I will be announcing it when that's ready. I want to also focus now on the type of shows that to look out for season 3, and the type of shows that came to me while I was on summer break, relaxing on vacation, was this topic. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is to take notice. I haven't got the dates of when I will release them, but they are coming. So the first topic podcast I'm gonna for my return in season 3 is why accountability works wonders in personal and professional career. Okay, why does accountability works wonders in your personal and professional career? The other one is why greedy companies lose in the end. Why greedy companies lose in the end? The third one, what to do when our heart won't let go. Okay, the next one is how to forgive for real healing. Then the last one so far is identify when it is time to get off the bull. Now, that could be professional and personal. But look for those titles to come in the near future in my season 3 that I will elaborate more on that and to kind of open up the discussion and get the healing, right? While we're surviving our journey. So I want to thank everyone. Continue to download my podcast. It does help. And I want to thank everyone that went out and purchased my book. I'm so thankful that you took the time, that you thought of, oh, let me go ahead and do what Nichel asked me to do. I'm going to go ahead and buy her book. I'm going to do that. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that, to put in that effort. You didn't have to do it, and I'm very grateful and thankful. And just to reiterate again that my season 3 premiere returns back September the 9th, 2019. That's on a Monday, of course. Continue to, if you like it, please share it with someone, this podcast. Tune in starting next month, and of course for the whole year of 2019 to 2020. I do have a motivational quote while I was on here for the summer and beyond. It's that what we don't see is an opportunity to create what we wish it to be and make it happen. And that old sage wisdom is true. Patient is a virtue. So that basically means that when we wait on something for the opportunity to arise, it's always in the right timing. And by being patient, we will get our humility, sustain our humility, and we'll get our just reward. Okay, so thank you so much. So to end this, my overall message is be you, be good, aim higher than expected by accepting challenges that reinforces you to keep going forward. Anyway, thank you.